Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I am the Captain Joey Savage, my heterosexual life partner.
Is that me?
Yeah. Say your name now.
Joey Savage. Oh, no, I panicked. Corey DLG.
And just say his name for him.
It's Nico DLG.
Oh, God, I was going to say Derek Jeter.
So, before the bump, we were talking
Anti-Derek Jeter.
Logan. The movie's so good.
Yes.
We're just going to keep going.
Okay, I'm all right with that.
So, I told you when Ali Savage walked out of Logan.
She was not a
like,
fan.
I hated it.
Which is weird, because, like, it crushed. Like,
Right.
I mean...
Well, she's, like, trying to find every reason not to like it. And I was like, Rotten Tomatoes literally has 96 positive tomatoes. Like, how are you going to crush this?
Tomatoes.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
a lot
a
of
lot- that is a
positivity.
lot of
lot of
tomatoes.
positivity. But I figured out what was
Is that
going
how
on.
they rate it? Is it positive tomatoes? Is that what they
I
do?
don't know, I made that up.
Okay, all right.
It's probably true,
It
though.
felt like you made it up, so that's why I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
So she was super depressed over the death of Professor X.
What? I mean, what did she think was going to happen? We just established he was 100
yeah,
years old.
No, she
He
knew.
was going to be fine at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He's just going to be there. And
He's
he's like,
gonna
hey, guys,
walk
I'm
it off.
fine.
Going
Yeah.
in, she knows they're going to die, right?
Yeah.
But then she starts, like, trying to justify, like, here's this guy who did all these great things in life, and then the way they kill him in the movie is he's just laying in a bed, and he thinks he's talking to Logan, and he's not, and he gets stabbed.
Yeah, I want to come back to that because I got a question for you about that.
And so it started just getting me thinking, you know, and one of the things, we were talking about this the other day.
Right.
Not all
is-
heroes die gracefully.
Right, exactly. Like, it doesn't matter how much good you do in the world or all the good things you do, no one beats the sands of time. Like,
Right.
inevitably, everyone's going to die. You don't get to choose how you die. Not everyone gets the storybook ending. Not everyone gets the fairy tale ending.
No.
And when you look at these two characters in particular, especially with Wolverine, with his healing factor, science and nature just says he's probably going to outlive everybody that he loves.
Everyone.
Dude's been around since what? The Civil War?
Then if the chronology is correct from that first one, yes.
Civil War. So he's seen a lot. So
Yeah.
here he is towards the end of his life. Everyone that he's ever loved is dead.
Again,
Like,
not for the first time.
Not for the first time.
Yeah.
Again, he's starting to lose his powers a bit. He's becoming a raging alcoholic. And okay, look at the comic books. All superheroes at some point they have a vice.
Yeah.
They all have a vice.
Right.
Tony Stark even has.
Captain America doesn't have one. He's just too American.
He's
His vice is sidekicks.
yeah,
yep. Those are
fair.
his. Like
He's
Batman.
Yeah, he's addicted to him, man.
And so
Poor guy.
He is.
he turns into an alcoholic, and this movie was just basically, here is this hero. This is what would literally happen. Like, it wasn't Hollywood upped, as you could say. It wasn't like in this big exit. But here's literally what would happen. Like, in real life, if there was really a character like this, at the end of his life, 9 times out of 10, this is what's
this
going
is
to
where
happen.
Probably what happened.
He's depressed because everyone he loves dead. He's turned to drinking. He only has one relationship left, and that guy's gone completely
Lost.
bonkers.
Well, you can do this in a lot of different ways. So it's really easy to do this. So you start looking around into different worlds that pop culture touches.
Right.
You find this everywhere. Sports. Brett Favre, his last season, last pass, interception.
Yeah,
Do you think it's how he wants to go out?
No,
I
not
mean,
every sports hero gets to go out on top.
Alonzo,
Most of them.
Alonzo Mourning. Miami Heat wins the championship. He decides to come back for the next year. He announces at the beginning of the year, "This is my last go round. I'm going to go out on top. We're going to defend the title. We're going to go back and win it." Like 2 weeks into the season, he blows out his knee in the middle of the third quarter, and he's not going to rehab that and come back for another retirement year.
Yeah, and with sports, you can go out on top. You have that option. A lot of them just think they have more in their tank.
Peyton Manning is one of the few who.
But even Peyton Manning, like his last season, he didn't do anything spectacular.
He wasn't great, but
They didn't
he
win because of him.
He at least wins one more Super
Right.
Bowl and gets to go out.
But then,
But you don't like. Okay, you go to wrestling. The Undertaker. They had him lose to Brock Lesnar in WrestleMania, which kind of means he went to the well one too many times.
yes,
And so instead of going away though gracefully
and undefeated.
he
still
does
going
one more
again.
WrestleMania. He loses to Brock Lesnar. Now he's doing special appearances. He just gets tossed out of a Royal Rumble 6 seconds in.
Yeah, it almost
Just
dies.
to what? Fight Roman Reigns at
Yeah.
I mean,
Disappointing.
exactly. It's never going to be.
All your heroes go. Most of your heroes don't go out gracefully.
Doc Holliday. I'm going to be mentioning him later on today. Doc Holliday. He dies in a bed of tuberculosis.
Away from nobody.
So, yeah. I mean, the heroes don't go out the way.
No.
That's why in The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise's little samurai buddy, he wants to go out in those battles. He sees his last opportunity
Right.
to die fighting, and what a good death it is. So he takes it. He chooses it.
Right.
Your heroes very rarely, when you're at your peak, realize it and go out strongly.
And so, especially with now, we're just looking on the fake side of life with superheroes. I mean, most superheroes are the same way. Like they
Yeah.
don't. It doesn't end well for them. Like
well, no,
very
because,
rarely
because
do
of what they're doing. You know,
Right.
If you're the good guy, a lot of times what you're up against, larger than life forces of nature, great evils. Like something's gonna steamroll you.
Well, look
Eventually.
at the
It's
Watchmen.
gonna get wrecked.
Look at the Watchmen, the comedian,
yeah,
who was a great hero. Not so much a great person outside of being a hero,
but he was a great hero.
but he's a great hero, and he dies.
He just gets tossed out of a
Yeah,
a
very
balcony.
tragically.
Yeah,
So like, okay, so then you look at Avengers, like Quicksilver. He becomes a hero, and then he dies in the middle of battle. That's how a lot of people see heroes going out.
right.
But more often than not, it's like Wolverine. You're at
Well-
the end of your time. You're a drunk.
In Old Man Logan, in the comic book itself, Hawkeye is actually the guy who takes Logan on the adventure that he goes on, and Hawkeye is blind.
Right.
Famous archer, can't see.
Can't see. Doesn't need to though. Never misses.
Does he miss in that one?
No.
Actually, he does shoot some arrows, but people are talking, and like he's running his mouth at him. He's like, "That's right, guys, keep talking," and he's like dropping arrows on him because he can
Hear them.
hear where they're at.
Yeah.
It's a
So
little.
so then Ali Savage tries to find like any possible reason to like not like the movie, and so everything she says, I just keep discrediting and discounting,
Which I'm
you know,
sure she loved.
which she hated even more. But yeah, and she's like, they didn't touch on. So then she's like, well, got back to the last segment. Well, they didn't really say how much the heroes died or the X-Men died. Where were they? I was like, well, they touched on it in this part and this part. You had to pay more attention.
Yeah, it's kind of they kind of subtly hint at it. Like when Charles Xavier's laying in bed and he's talking about it.
Right.
When he says it, I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." And of course, Dad, being the great movie watcher he is, was like, "What happened? What
I fell
happened?"
asleep. I fell asleep with my Whopper in my hand.
I was like, Xavier killed the X-Men. He's like,
But
"What are
yeah.
you talking about?"
I was like, but he
What do
kind
you
of.
mean?
I was like, that was kind of a good send-off though for Charles Xavier.
It
Like, he's on
was.
his deathbed basically, and he's like confessing, like he realizes and kind of confessing
What
his
he's
sins
done to Wolverine too.
and his sins, and
Yeah.
then gets snapped.
But
So I mean,
how much of a surprise was X-24? It's such a
Right.
it was such a random thing.
I
Right?
didn't expect that at all.
I
So in the movie, they get rid of the reason the kids are running is because the corporation has found a better way to make a mutant than these kids. Basically, they bred these kids with mutant DNA inside of Hispanic females.
Right.
I'm sure the females died upon birth.
Or they had him killed.
Yeah, one or the other.
But so they're raising these kids to
Be
be
weapons, and it's just not working out.
Yeah.
Like they're rebelling against it because they're kids. Kids
Right.
rebel.
Exactly.
And so they come up with a new thing. You don't know what it is. They call it X-24, and it's basically a clone of Wolverine.
Yeah, and it's a young man Wolverine, so
It's
it's just angry and just
Oh, it trips me out.
and
Yeah,
just,
it was
like it's buff,
crazy.
and like it's really well CG'd. So like it's Hugh Jackman probably portraying it,
Yeah.
but it's so well CG'd that it just looks like a teenage Wolverine.
Right, and he's
Like,
going
it
bonkers.
he's brutal. The fight that they have is brutal.
There wasn't tons of fight scenes, but
No.
they did them well. They were big, and they were a lot of smashing stuff.
and claws through body parts.
It looked like you two playing Hero Clicks, basically. Like no strategy had evolved,
I take that as a compliment.
just straight pounding,
Just keep going at it.
like two
until
heavyweights,
one's done.
like in a boxing match.
Right,
Like,
and
there's
because,
no ducking and
yeah, 'cause
diving.
they weren't going to run from each other, and they're just literally just hacking away at each other's pieces. falling
Wolverine's
off
like
as they
half
fight.
dying the entire
Yeah.
time, and then he
There's-
finds that like they give him that serum or whatever it was.
Yeah, so it's like an accelerant for a healing factor.
Right.
And so Wolverine, though, he's so old that it burns off really quickly, and so they've just been, and it's all like it's just fuel, like is what it is.
Basically,
And
so they said, "Don't take all of it." And
Yeah.
what does he do? He takes all of it.
all at once, boys, all in.
So he's got this like
pushing him in.
short burst of just going nuts so crazy, and then when it wears off, he's like
It's exhausted and old again.
completely
Oh, I'm dying.
done.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
dying.
But yeah, I think
Forgot about that part.
her biggest thing or reason is psychology.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's
you get in your head that because this guy Professor X did all these great things for humanity, basically,
He's a great guy.
that he's this great guy that he should have a very
Valiant dad.
valiant death, and he dies in some rando house in the middle of
it's the house in the middle
Oklahoma.
of Oklahoma, yeah.
Like,
In
and just gets
Oklahoma.
it gets buried in next to some random lake,
Yeah,
and you don't
It's a
he doesn't
random,
get
like-
that.
Is it in Oklahoma though?
Yeah,
it is. It is.
he just doesn't get that proper send off, and so in her head, like now she hates the
she
whole
didn't
movie.
think it was a proper send off.
Right,
Well,
right, and
but
now she
also-
hates the whole movie.
I think a little bit though is without going too deep personal wise, like I think there's father issues involved there because Xavier's such a father figure
To everybody,
to everybody,
right?
and she loves her dad, and so
Good
that's
thing I don't have those problems.
That's right. That's right. Free from that, aren't you?
Thank you.
Uh,
The one time it's helped.
anyone without a dad can go to the front of the line.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Great stuff.
But yeah, I think it's a little bit of like you don't want to If you had a beloved grandpa, you wouldn't want.
Right.
You don't want. It's
Him
a
to
sad
get,
story.
Him to get stabbed by fake Wolverine in the middle of Oklahoma. That's not how you wanted to go out. That's not how you would choose
That
to go
highly
out.
That's
specific
how I would.
scenario.
That's specifically the way I chose.
Yeah.
That was what I wrote on my Cards of Humanity.
Yeah.
No.
Corey DLG dies by getting stabbed by a fake Wolverine in the middle of Oklahoma
Right.
in some rando's house.
While I'm suffering from dementia at the age of 100.
Yes. That's a pretty good way to go out.
That's pretty
That's-
good. That
it was
sounds that sounds
pretty
pretty
solid,
great.
actually.
It was a lengthy card.
I couldn't have written it any better.
Zooming out from the whole thing, it was actually a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was pretty happy.
I mean,
with the
dying in my
results.
sleep would probably be better, but this
Favorite-
sounds better. This
favorite-
sounds more movie-like.
Part
Well,
of it.
yeah.
Theodore Roosevelt. What is it? If death had taken him to sleep, because if not, he would have fought.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I love Theodore Roosevelt. He's one of the craziest people in history you'll
Yeah.
ever read about. He famously was one of the last American generals to ride into battle. He also he organized a group of troops independently, a cavalry unit, to invade Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what
Rough
are they?
Riders.
Yeah, the
The
Rough Riders.
Rough Riders,
It's like,
mount up.
Can you
It was a
imagine,
clear
like Teddy Roosevelt just shows up at your house like, hey, you want to go to Cuba?
on horses? We're
On
gonna ride our
horses?
horses inside of a plane,
Yeah.
and they're gonna parachute down, but we're on parachutes, so it'll
Right.
be great.
It'll be awesome.
And
I
we're gonna
promise.
take Cuba.
I don't even know. Like, I can't even.
He's
I don't
crazy.
even know what to say.
Would you say no? I wouldn't say no. You would say no.
I would say no to Teddy Roosevelt.
You would be like, "Do I need to wear pants?" And as soon as he said yes,
then
you're
I
like,
was
"I'm out."
But if he
I'm
said
out.
no pants, I would probably do it as long as it's all the whiskey I can handle.
Can I just go what I'm wearing now?
Yeah. Do I need to change?
I'll go in my wrestling tights. Can I wear those?
You have to change. You can't wear the.
I can't wear my
tights.
wrestling tights
No, you can't.
into Cuba
No.
on a
Cuba?
horse.
Cuba.
Cuba on a horse.
Cuba.
Sounds like Kubo, and 2 strings.
That movie was boring,
Did you see him
but
get?
cool.
See, that blows my mind. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it
the
was dumb.
previews.
It was
It was just a really boring movie.
super
Really?
lame.
Yeah.
Kubo on the two
We
strings.
just went-
Although really well animated, like
Yeah.
it was really nice.
We just went all over the place.
Yeah.
When do
Alright.
we not?
Ending.
Yeah, let's take a break real quick. I need to go to the restroom. When we come back, we're gonna go and play one of the games that we enjoy playing so much.
But we haven't played in a long time.
Oh, stay tuned.